Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 4th Annual Ummah Conference. My name is Sami Al-Arian, and I am the Director of the Center for Islam and Global Affairs at Istanbul Zaim University, the organizer of this conference. CIGA was established in the fall of 2017, only 3 years ago, when we convened our first conference. Since we had our first international conference, we've had it annually, and this is our 4th, alhamdulillah. The first conference, we explored the concept of the Muslim Ummah. In the second, we discussed the fault lines and perils facing Muslim societies, such as nationalism, sectarianism, secularism, and colonialism. Last year, we examined one of the major problems facing Muslim countries, which was civil-military relations, and we examined it in about half a dozen countries. This year, our theme is governance and political authority in the Muslim world, examining theory and practice. I will talk about the program later. But first, a word about CIGA. Our vision at CIGA is to be a premier research institution for ideas, analysis, and policy recommendations on global affairs impacting the Muslim world, and to foster future relations with world powers based on shared principles, common interests, and mutual respect. CIGA is an independent nonprofit research and public policy institution based here in Istanbul and affiliated with Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University. Its mission is to conduct high-quality research and analysis, educate the public and policymakers, train experts, and propose novel ideas and policy recommendations regarding global policies and relations impacting the Islamic world and the development and progress of Muslim societies. In the 3 years since our founding, we held 7 international conferences, including this one. Over 150 scholars from dozens of countries attended our conferences. 4 on the Ummah, 2 on Islamophobia, and 1 on Palestine. During this period, we also held 26 seminars, 40 webinars, 16 book discussions, and 18 symposia, workshops, and other activities, including an art exhibit and film screenings. That is 7 conferences and over 100 activities, as well as many studies, including a weekly publication called Geopolitical Compass that we have published already 54 issues. We are certainly very proud of our team, which are made primarily of graduate students. For many of these conferences, we've had institutional partners. One of our main partners of this annual Ummah conference has been Hamad bin Khalifa University. Today, this university is represented by its provost, my dear friend, Professor Dr. Shahin. But first, let's hear from the chairman of the board of trustees of the foundation that founded Istanbul Sabahattin Zaim University, Mr. Necmeddin Bilal Erdogen. He is the chairman of this institution called Ilim Yayma Vakfi, or Dissemination of Knowledge Foundation. As I said earlier, it founded ISO in 2010. He's also a trustee at Ibn Khaldun University. His life has been dedicated to education and to furthering and development of educational institutions, as well as institutions that deal with the youth. He has a BA from Indiana University and double majors in political science and economics, and a master's degree in public policy from Harvard University, and pursued a PhD degree from Johns Hopkins University, both in Washington, DC and Bologna, Italy. As I said, he has been a chairman, and he has been very active in foundations, in educational institutions, as well as youth activities. Mr. Bilal Erdogen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Al-Arian, and all the participants at this 4th International Symposium. And I would like to thank Sabahattin Zaim University, CIGA for their active contribution. It's such an opportune moment, I think, to be conducting such an event with participants from tens of countries involved with academic studies focusing on the Ummah, the Muslim world. And the subject of this year's conference is governance and political authority. During my time at the World Bank as a consultant, governance was one of the major issues that the World Bank was focusing on, especially in the developing world. So I think it's still very relevant, and our Muslim world is going through many troubles, I must say. And I think this is why I think to look at these issues and problems through the lens of governance and political authority is very relevant. Ilim Yayma Vakfı, or Dissemination of Knowledge Foundation, its roots go back to 1951 when Ilim Yayma Cemiyeti was found. So it was a cemiye, yani it was a organization for the dissemination of knowledge. It's the same year when Imam Hatip high schools were founded in Turkey to have religious education, because religious education was forbidden for a while by then. And this organization was found to support the first Imam Hatip school in Istanbul. In 1973, they came together to invest in a waqf, a stronger institution to support these educational work. And since 1973, Ilim Yayma Vakfı has graduated from its schools, its dormitories, more than 15,000 students at every level. And we have given scholarship to students in high school, in university, in graduate education, to more than 50,000 students in the 47 years since our founding. Ilim Yayma Cemiyeti, the organization, our mother organization, has gone even beyond these numbers, because it has 180 institutions all over the country. They have more than 160 dormitories all over the country. And these two great institutions are two of the oldest non-governmental organizations in Turkey. And in 2010, Ilim Yayma Vakfı has founded Sabahattin Zaim University. And you probably know it has more than 10,000 students, such a amazing campus in a very important part of Istanbul, in a very central part of Istanbul, a beautiful campus. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I must urge you to see our campus. And last year, Ilim Yayma Vakfı has started an important organization by the name of Ilim Yayma Awards. It's a national academic award ceremony. It will be conducted every 2 years to support leading academic research in the fields of not only social sciences, but also engineering and natural sciences as well. So please find out about our foundation, and we would like to thank all the organizers of this event, all the participants, and I hope our foundation is very welcome to undertake more international collaborations in the field of advancing knowledge and supporting cutting-edge scientific research and social science research. I would like to thank you for listening, and I wish a successful event to all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Erdogan, and thank you for continuing to support the university and continue to support the dissemination of knowledge throughout Turkey and indeed throughout the world. Before I go to the next speaker, I just want to make sure, because I got some notes that our website is not doing Arabic. Are we? Is Arabic being broadcast? Our tech support, because I haven't checked. Just want to make sure that this is happening. Yes, both. Okay, can you tell people, because they try to go there, how they get Arabic or the English? If you can just put some notes there, I appreciate it very much. Our next speaker is the rector and president of Istanbul Salahuddin Zaim University, Dr. Bulut. Dr. Bulut is by profession a professor of economic history and economics. He received his PhD from the University of Utrecht in Netherlands and a master's degree in the field of economic history, as well as bachelor and master degree also from the Kuz Eylul University in economics. He has been the rector of Salahuddin Zaim University now in his 8th year, and it has grown leaps and bounds, and it has become an excellent university with excellent reputation throughout Turkey. He has many academic credentials to his credit since he became an academic, as well as many books and articles. Dr. Bulut.
Thank you so much, Dr. Al-Arian. My dear Chairman of Board of Trustees, honorable guests, distinguished scholars, respected participants, it gives me a great pleasure to welcome you to the Istanbul Salahuddin Zaim University's 4th International Conference on the Muslim Ummah, with the theme Governance and Political Authority in the Muslim World, examining theory and practice, organized by the Center for Islam and Global Affairs. Today's international conference follows 3 excellent annual conferences focusing on the Muslim world held between 2017 to 2019, held with esteemed partners such as Georgetown University in the United States, Hamad bin Khalifa University in Qatar, and the University of Denver in the United States. Each of these conferences have attracted the foremost scholars, intellectuals, thinkers, and contributors of our domain from around the world. Today's conference, however, will address deeply pertinent issues to Muslim world, addressing key issues that have been the subject of debate, intense scholarship, and at times deep division through our histories. In seeking to touch on the heart of conceptions of political authority and governance in the Muslim world, we will engage with the meaning of the idea of the unity, tawheed, adalat, and ethics. We must also come to the terms with the trauma of the loss of the Khalifa through Muslim social, political, legal, economic, and cultural spheres, while engaging head on the factors that drew this about. It is unfortunate that today's struggle to organically define ourselves and reconcile ourselves with our past is countered and undermined by the same forces that once pushed to replace our rights to governance and sovereign political authority with colonialism and subjugation. With the collapse of Ottoman Empire, as we know, the Muslims in all of the world faced with so many difficulties in the Middle East, in the Balkans, and in the rest of the world. And we, as academicians, intellectuals, have to be free to discuss all the issues, details, and we also first have to be independent in our thinking and discussion. Intellectual independence is one of the most important issues among the Muslim countries today. This excellent conference will allow us to engage with all this and more, consolidating our attempt to explore the full breadth of scholarship on these key issues, while addressing possibilities, limitations, and varying vested interests through our history, but also important, our shared future. Throughout this key event, it is also my hope that the conference will examine the key factors governing the conceptual manifestations of political authority and practice in Islam, and the external factors that until today continue to define and shape it. As such, let us ask ourselves, how do we choose to look upon our past? What meaning can we extract from it for the present times? Will it be through the lens of Orientalist reduction or informed scientific inquiry rooted in timeless civilizational values and ethical grounded belief? In doing so, we will need to engage with our historical and cultural memory, geopolitics, and the clash of ideology up to the present day. More essentially, we must systematically address the structural causes behind the success and fall of our historical political institutions, if only to better reconcile deeper issues of political authority and the governance as a whole. To that end, I pray that this conference will play a key role in redefining essential ideas for our modern day and time. We must reassess that was taken for granted in light of a changing, rapidly developing world where the criteria and mechanism for citizenship, rule of law, ethics, freedom, and good governance have changed drastically, to say the least. In doing so, we will be able to reconceptualize ourselves in our tradition and find our place in the world. By doing so, we will throw off the labels of definition and provide organic answers and meaning to our place in the Muslim world and in the world at large. In this manner, and through this conference, we provide our scholars, leaders, and youth with the essential talk list to engage with impact and meaning to modern pressing geopolitical issues in need of pressing solutions. With these steps, we put ourselves on the path of addressing systemic oppressions against Muslims worldwide and come that much closer to not only the deal, but also the reality of regional cooperation rooted in our collective past. It is my belief that today's conference will redefine the range and depth of Muslims' identity in a complex world and for the better. I also believe that first, as Muslim world, we have to come together under the umbrella of unity, tawheed, adalat, and ethics. With that, I bid you welcome, one and all. I declare the commencement of the 4th International Conference on the Muslim Ummah. Thank you very much for giving me this chance, and I hope a successful conference in the following 4 days. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Bulut, for your remarks, very pointed. Again, before I go to the next, I want to make sure that our tech people put the English language link on our Facebook page, because I'm getting some people that they are only hearing Arabic, or at least still in the instructions where to go to listen to the English version. Our next speaker is Professor Dr. Imad Shahin. Dr. Shahin is the acting provost as well as the dean of the College of Islamic Studies at Hamad bin Khalifa University in Doha, Qatar. He was also the distinguished chair of Arabic and Islamic Studies, as well as visiting professor at Georgetown University. He held also many academic positions at American University, Harvard, Johns Hopkins, and Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, and so on and so forth. He's an author of many books, including Political Ascent, Contemporary Islamic Movements in North Africa, as well as the editor-in-chief of the Oxford Encyclopedia of Islam and Politics. Dr. Shahin has his PhD from Johns Hopkins University, and I'm so happy that he is with us today, because Hamad bin Khalifa University and he himself personally has been a great partner to our institution and to our programs. Thank you for being here, Dr. Shahin.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sami, for this generous introduction. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Mr. Bilal Erdogen, Chairman of the Board, Dr. Mehmet Bulut, Director of Istanbul Zaim University, Dr. Sami Al-Arian, the Director of CIGA, and esteemed participants and guests, a very good evening to you all. On behalf of Hamad bin Khalifa University and the College of Islamic Studies, I'm delighted to extend our immense pleasure to participate once again in the Istanbul Zaim University CIGA Annual Ummah Conference, in which CIS has been a co-sponsor since the conference inception in 2017. This annual conference has developed into a notable forum for global discourses. Every year, a carefully selected theme is identified that is both pertinent and pressing in its applications to Muslim societies. Previous conferences have explored defining a new paradigm for the Muslim Ummah in the contemporary context, discussing the critical fault lines that exist in Muslim societies today, and investigating civil-military relations in the Muslim world and its periphery. The Ummah Conference series have consistently, in its short lifetime, garnered significant attention from the academic community, and the current edition will be no different in that respect. This year, we look forward to an equally pertinent theme that will be discussed: governance and political authority in the Muslim world, examining theory and practice. It heartens me to see that the conference program engages not only our own expert faculty, but an exceptional lineup of long-time affiliates of the HBKU College of Islamic Studies, all of whom promise to enrich the upcoming program of presentations with their collective expertise. I would also like to acknowledge the mutually beneficial memorandum of understanding that connects Istanbul Zaim University and HBKU's College of Islamic Studies. We both aim to generate impactful research which responds to the contemporary challenges of Muslim societies and produce scholars and social scientists who will shape the understanding of Islam regionally and internationally. It is no surprise then how well both institutions complement and promote their respective visions and missions, and this has continually strengthened our partnership every year. The MOU in particular has formed the foundation of the Ummah Conference series, summer school opportunities, and other joint research initiatives. In addition, we are also considering joint programs that will enrich our mutual scholarly communities and collaborative research activities that will widen the scope of our collective work across multiple fields. I would like to convey my deepest appreciation to the CIGA team and Istanbul Zaim University for their tremendous work in research and scholarship and their dissemination, and for their tireless efforts that have brought this conference to fruition today. I wish you all an engaging and inspiring experience with the conference presentations. I hope that we all gain an even deeper understanding of the dynamics and challenges of our world today, and affect the ability of producing brighter possibilities for the Muslim Ummah in the coming years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Dr. Shahin, for your generous remarks. In conclusion, let me just say something about this conference and this program. In this conference, we are attempting to ask fundamental questions about representative and legitimate leadership within Muslim societies. Questions like, how would the Muslim world look alike without authoritarianism and despotism? We'd like to explore new models of sovereignty which balance modern ideas of citizenship, the rule of law, and democracy with traditional values. We will consider in this conference, hopefully, questions such as, what is sovereignty in Islam, and what is the role of political elites? How can Islamic law deal with the modern nation-state mechanism? What's the idea of community that underpins the political leadership found in the concept of the Khalifa, the Caliphate? How do we understand territoriality when political authority assumes a non-territorial mode of loyalty? How do we understand the major case studies across the Muslim world where Islamic conceptual paradigms were put into practice as Islamic actors have gained political power, particularly in the last half century? And how do we assess their successes or failures? We will particularly examine the cases of Turkey, Iran, Malaysia, Pakistan, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Sudan, and Palestine. We'll also look at manifestations of these questions by some Islamic movements in the Arab world, in the Balkans, as well as in the Indian subcontinent. In addition, we will examine the concept of good governance. What is the meaning of good governance? How does it relate to Muslim societies nowadays? What are the imperatives of a genuine political revivalist project across the Muslim world? In the closing session, we will invite 5 scholars to examine the future of politics and political authority in the Muslim world in the coming years. These are some of the major questions of this conference that we would like to address in our search for meaningful and consequential answers related to political power and governance across Muslim societies. In all, we will have 43 presentations and the discussion over 13 sessions that will feature almost 60 scholars from 22 countries in the United States, Europe, such as England and Serbia, Australia, Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, Malaysia, Bangladesh, India, Mauritania, Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt, Sudan, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen, Qatar, and Palestine. All these countries will have different scholars coming and addressing our conference. Because of the pandemic, we had to extend our conference so that we can accommodate as many time zones as we possibly can. So this conference would be extended to 7 days, starting tonight on Saturday, and it will end on Friday evening, 7 straight days from December 12th to December 18th. As I said, 2 sessions per day. The session starting tomorrow, one would be at 3 o'clock Istanbul time, which is noon Greenwich. And the second one would be followed at 7 o'clock like we did tonight. And this would be around 4 p.m. Greenwich time or 11 o'clock Eastern time. Again, we thank you for joining us. I would like to thank all our professors and academics and presenters throughout the week, the audience, our staff, as well as our university and Hamad bin Khalifa University, and our speakers today for inaugurating the conference. Thank you so much for being part of this, I believe, historic event. I did receive this this week a message from an esteemed professor from the United States. He told me that what you are doing here at Istanbul Zaim University is unprecedented. No one else in the world doing this. And it was really a very appreciative comment. And he said that the Ummah needs these kind of conferences, these kind of discussions, these kind of intellectual forums in order to progress and advance. I want to thank again our university, our partner, our Waqf Foundation, as well as everybody who's worked very hard to put this together. It is unique because it's virtual, never done before, but we are hopeful that it will be a successful conference. Again, thank you very much. We will convene in about 5 minutes back to start our second session, which will feature 3 distinguished academics and intellectuals, Dr. Humaira Iqtidar from King's College, which I will introduce in the second session, Dr. Khalid Abul Fadl, one of the premier Muslim intellectuals in the West, from LA, Los Angeles, University of Los Angeles, University of California at Los Angeles School of Law, and last but not least, Dr. Mahmoud Mamdani from Columbia University. Again, thank you very much. We'll see you in 5 minutes.